Okay, so activity number 3. For activity number 3, ideally you will grab somebody and have a partner to do this with you. But if you don't have a partner, you can do it alone. And I encourage you, if you're alone, to do it now. The single way, find somebody later and recreate it as a partner, because it'll be fun to do both. Okay, for this activity, many of us did a hand slapping activity when we were young. And if you didn't, let me try to explain it. So we've got 2 people standing across from each other. So this would be one person, this would be one person. And if you're alone, you're going to do it like me. And the person that's underneath is trying to come around and slap the other person's hand. And the person that is on top is trying to get away so that person can't slap their hand. And so it would look like this. And since I'm doing it myself, I sometimes catch myself and I sometimes get away. When you're doing it with somebody else, it will depend on the reflexes of the other person. So what you want to do is to also add in simple math while you are trying to slap or not be slapped. And you want to keep to, single digit numbers, 0 through 9. You want to be only subtraction or addition, no multiplication or any of that. Okay, so let's see how it goes. So this person over here, if it was a first person, if you're doing it with 2 people, is going to ask this other person math. And then you're going to switch roles. If you are by yourself, you're going to ask yourself math and see how it goes. So in other words, I'm going to say 3 plus 4, and I'm going to try to answer before I get slapped. And I can say 7. But as you see, I'm not really well able to do both. Or I could say 5 minus 2, and my hand slaps quicker than my brain is able to process the math. So 5 minus 2 is 3, but I could have been slapped a lot of times before I figured the math out. And so you see how it goes. So if you've got 2 people doing it, then you have one person taking the time to ask the math and do the slapping, and the other person answering the math and trying to pull away. And then you switch roles. So for this activity, what we discover is that pretty much no one does their best work while under attack. And usually there's one of 2 methods. One is focusing on the math and not worrying about being slapped, and the other is not wanting to be slapped and not being able to do the math. Well, we're at a time as a human community where we feel pretty much constantly under attack for all kinds of reasons. And it's really not conducive for us to do our best work at creating a world that works for everyone and at creating a life that works for each individual. And our attacks are coming from so many spaces. We have this cultural conditioning that I talked about that has us falling into unhealthy coping strategies, and there's stress overload and information and decision overload, and there's this pattern of extreme divisiveness, and there's even toxicities in the air and the water and in our food. And so our attacks are coming from many places. And so anything we can do to reduce our participation in the attacks can really help. And anything we can do to strengthen our mind, body, and heart, and that of others, really helps us all towards creating the world that we know is possible.